the 19th to the 20th of November, depending on which part of the world you're living, we're going to have an extremely powerful and extremely unique and one-of-a-kind new moon in Scorpio at 28 degrees of Scorpio. This new moon is going to conjunct very tightly a retrograde Mercury, and is going to oppose very tightly a retrograde Uranus in Taurus. This is a new moon not for the faint-hearted, but this is a new moon that is very special and powerful nonetheless. The moon is in its fall in Scorpio. Mercury is retrograde conjunct this new moon in Scorpio, and Taurus is retrograde opposing almost directly, almost exact, this new moon from Taurus. So we're going to experience something new, but before that experience, we need to rethink, review, and we need to allow ourselves to be surprised. And we need to liberate ourselves. We need to open ourselves, our minds, and also our hearts to liberation from Uranus, to surprises from Uranus, to revolutions from Uranus. This is new moon. Yes, this is not a new moon for the faint-hearted, but this is a necessary new moon. So this is my simple take on how to harvest this very potent and very rare type of new moon energies for all 12 rising signs. For the first rising sign, we will go to Aries rising, the most accurate, followed by Aries sun and Aries moon. For my dear Aries rising friends, this new moon in Scorpio conjunct Mercury retrograde opposing Uranus in Taurus will happen in the axis of the 8th house and the 2nd house. The new moon itself will happen in the 8th house. So how can you get something? How can you harvest this energy? So a new moon in the 8th house is typically not a straightforward new moon, because this is the house of psychology, other people's money, other people's resources. This is the house of drama, secrets, transformation, the taboo things. This is also the house of investments, other people's money. But because Mercury is also conjunct to this new moon retrograde, so there's going to be a review, a very big, intense review in terms of your 8th house. But there will be an opposition from your 2nd house. So the way you can harvest this energy is that by reviewing your 8th house, or reviewing things related to 8th house matters that's currently happening in your life, by reviewing those things. But at the same time, during the review process, this new moon, open your mind and open your heart to surprises, revolution, and liberation from Uranus in your money house, 2nd house. For example, you want to have a new investment. Review it first, but you need to be open-minded of liberation in terms of money, 2nd house, before you make that investment. That's a practical example of this. Other things, 8th house related to intimacy, review about your intimacy, but at the same time, open your mind to sudden fluctuation, sudden realization, or sudden epiphanies in terms of your money or resources or even value that is connected to your intimacy. So that's some of the examples where you can harvest this new moon energy. For the 2nd rising sign, we will go to Taurus rising, the most accurate, followed by Taurus sun and Taurus moon. For my dear Taurus rising friends, how you can harvest this new moon energy. Remember, this new moon will happen for Taurus rising in your 7th house, relationship, partnership. Conjunct Mercury retrograde, also in the same degree, right, 28. So this is a review regarding your relationship, your one-on-one relationship. But because there's an opposition with Uranus in Taurus in the 1st house, then the way you can harvest this energy is by reviewing or starting something new, But before you start something new in terms of a relationship, you have to review it first, Mercury retrograde. But at the same time, open your mind to personal liberation, first house, Uranus. So in this case, the commanding energy is actually you, first house. You are the one that is asked to liberate yourself, to free yourself, in order for you to take advantage of this new moon in the 7th house. Basically, in order for you to attract something new in the 7th house, relationship, partnership, you need to liberate yourself, first house. That is one of the major ways and on how you can harvest this new moon energy for Taurus rising. For the third rising sign, we will go to Gemini rising, the most accurate, followed by Gemini sun and Gemini moon. For my dear Gemini rising friends, this new moon in Scorpio conjunct Mercury retrograde will happen in your 6th house. Right? Will happen in your 6th house. It's a house of pets, daily details, daily work, house of chores, house of improvement, and also, of course, physical health. So in order for you to start something new, you have to review 6th house matters. But there's going to be an opposition, a strong one, from Uranus in Taurus in your 12th house for Gemini rising. So the way you can harvest this new moon energy for your advantage is to review your 6th house, but allow yourself to be open-minded and open-hearted for you to allow surprises, liberation, and epiphanies or breakthroughs to come from the 12th house, which is your mental health. For example, you're trying to review to start something new in terms of your physical health, 6th house. But for you, in order for you to harvest this new moon energy, in order for you to get better in your physical health, you need to take a look, to be open-minded to things that could happen in your mental health. So physical health, mental health. Find a harmonious balance between the two. Then you can harvest this new moon energy. For the next rising sign, we will go to Cancer rising, the most accurate, followed by Cancer sun and Cancer moon. For my dear Cancer rising friends, this new moon in Scorpio, conjunct Mercury retrograde, will happen in your 5th house. This is a good house, basically. It's about children, fun, creativity, joy, romance, love. So the universe is giving you permission to start something new, but before you start something new in this house, you need to review it first. And you're going to have to contend with the opposition from Uranus in Taurus in your 11th house. So in order for you to harvest this new moon energy in the 5th house, you need to review your 5th house matters, children, creativity. For example, you review your creativity, your creative projects, right? 5th house. But during the review process, because of this new moon, you need to be open-minded, open-hearted, to allow surprises, to allow revolutions, to allow liberations to come from your 11th house. Friendship, maybe. Networking, maybe. Social media. Those things could help you to liberate, could revolutionize your creativity. But in order for you to review your creativity 5th house effectively, open your mind to surprises from the 11th house. That is the way for you to harvest this very potent new moon energy. For the next rising sign, we will go to Leo rising, the most accurate, followed by Leo sun and Leo moon. For my dear Leo rising friends, this new moon in Scorpio will highlight your 4th house. This is about your family, your ancestry, your properties, your home. So something new will start here, but it will come first from a review. You need to review maybe about your home, but you need to allow yourself to be surprised by your 10th house opposition, because Uranus in Taurus is opposing this new moon from your 10th house. So the way for Leo risings to harvest this new moon energy is that if you want to start some new projects regarding your home, 4th house, review it first. But during the review process, right, you need to allow yourself to be surprised by your career, 10th house, by the public thing that you have, by your status, public status, 10th house. So be open-minded in terms of flexibility or surprises or epiphanies regarding your career, 10th house, so that you can start something new effectively after the review in your 4th house. So you need to find a balance between your 4th and 10th house. That's how you can harvest this new moon energy. For the next rising sign, we will go to Virgo rising, the most accurate, followed by Virgo sun and Virgo moon. For my dear Virgo rising friends, this new moon in Scorpio will happen in your third house. This is about communications, this is about siblings, this is about skills, this is about knowledge, this is about short travel, right? Surroundings, this is your surrounding environment. So there's something new that you need to start here, but because Mercury retrograde here, Mercury is also the significator of communication, and this is the house of communication. Your communication is in review. Your skills, your knowledge is also in review. But in order for you to truly benefit or for you to harvest this new moon energy, you need to allow surprises, allow revolutions, allow liberation to come from your 9th house. Uranus and Taurus in your 9th house. What is the 9th house? Travel, philosophy, higher minds, higher learnings, religion. So review your communications, but at the same time allow surprises to come from the 9th house. So that's how you can harvest or take advantage of this new moon energy. For the next rising sign, we will go to Libra rising, the most accurate, followed by Libra sun and Libra moon. For my dear Libra rising friends, this new moon in Scorpio, conjunct Mercury retrograde, will happen in your 2nd house. This is about money, resources, value. This is a very money-oriented new moon, but it is on review because of Mercury retrograde. So you need to review your income streams. Basically, you need to review your money. But in order for you to start something new in terms of your money, other than the reviews, you need to be open-minded, open your heart and open your minds to surprises, to epiphanies, to breakthroughs, and to liberations that could come from the 8th house. 8th house is investments, other people's money, transformation, taboo, psychology, intimacy. For example, you've been very, very hesitant to maybe take out loans on a bank. But because this new moon is asking you to start something new in terms of your money, you review that process, and during that process, you need to open your minds and heart to maybe take a loan or start some investments in somewhere, 8th house. Or maybe you need to just basically transform your psychology, 8th house. So this is a very potent energy for you to work with your 8th house matters so that you can start something new for your 2nd house matters, money. So that is one of the most potent example of how you can harvest this new moon energy for Libra risings. For the next rising sign, we will go to Scorpio rising, the most accurate, followed by Scorpio sun and Scorpio moon. For my dear Scorpio rising friends, this new moon in Scorpio conjunct Mercury retrograde will happen in your 1st house. This is about you, your aura, your energy, your appearance, your body. Start something new in terms of your body, your appearance, you can. But because Mercury is retrograde, you need to review it first. And you need to allow other people to come in, because opposition will come from Uranus in Taurus in your 7th house. So the way you harvest, or the way you can take advantage of this new moon energy, is that during your time of review of the 1st house, you need to allow people to have their say from the 7th house relationship. You need to allow them to surprise you Maybe you need to allow them to collaborate with you. Because after all, Uranus in the 7th house in Taurus for Scorpio rising, there's a chance of liberation. But that liberation will come from other people, not from you. So allow yourself to, I'm not saying being judged by others, but allow yourself to be liberated by other people. So combine, harmonize the energy of the 1st and the 7th house. That is how you can use the energy of this new moon to your advantage. For the next rising sign, we will go to Sagittarius rising, the most accurate, followed by Sagittarius sun and Sagittarius moon. For my dear Sagittarius rising friends, this new moon in Scorpio, conjunct Mercury retrograde, will happen in your 12th house. This is about mental health, rest and relaxation, spirituality also, right? Opposition will come from the 6th house, Uranus and Taurus in the 6th. So you will need, yes, for Sagittarius rising, you will need to open your mind. For example, if you want to harvest this new moon energy, you need to start something in terms of your 12th house, mental health, for example. You need to review your condition. But at the same time, during that process, you have to open your mind to liberation, to surprises, even to shock sometimes, to epiphanies, or to some things, to some breakthroughs from your 6th house. Maybe in order for you to start something new to better your mental health, 12th house, you need to focus, or you need to open yourself to strengthen your health, physical health, 6th house. Or maybe in order for you to gain something of your 12th house, you need to let in pets, 6th house. So this is how you can work with the 6th and 12th house energy within this new moon, because of this new moon, so that you can harvest this new moon energy, 12th and 6th, mental health and physical health. For the next rising sign, we will go to Capricorn rising, the most accurate, followed by Capricorn sun and Capricorn moon. For my dear Capricorn rising friends, this new moon in Scorpio will highlight your 11th house. This new moon conjunct Mercury retrograde, so there's going to be a review first before you can start something effectively in your 11th house. 11th house is friendship, networking, social media, hopes and dreams, and long-term goals. If you want to start something new, you must review it first, right? There's even something maybe that could come back from the past, because this is Mercury retrograde after all, right? But in order for you to take advantage of this new moon, you also need to look at the polarity. Uranus and Taurus in your 5th house. So in order for you to gain something in your 11th house, you have to be open-minded and open-hearted, so you can let in the surprises, the breakthroughs, the liberation that could come from your 5th house. Maybe you will start some social media project, 11th house, but you need to review it first. Or maybe you need to review your past social media projects, Mercury retrograde. But at the same time, you need to allow yourself to be surprised by your 5th house. For example, creativity. Maybe you're surprised by your creativity during your approach to review your social media, 11th house. Ever think of that? So you have to be open-minded. Find harmonies between these two houses so you can get the best of this new moon. For the next rising sign, we will go to Aquarius rising, the most accurate, followed by Aquarius sun and Aquarius moon. For my dear Aquarius rising friends, this new moon in Scorpio will highlight your 10th house, conjunct Mercury retrograde, 10th house. There's going to be a lot of major reviews in terms of your career if you want to start something new. So review it first, or review during the starting process. Either way, you need to review, 10th house. But surprises will come from the 4th house, your home, your families. So in order for you to reap the benefits of this new moon, to harvest this new moon, You need to review your career, but you need to let the universe give you surprises, give you breakthroughs, give you liberations from your family. Maybe in order for you to start a new career, right, you need to liberate something in terms of your family, your home. Or maybe you need to discover something that could truly set you free in your home in order for you to start something new passionately in your 10th house. So integrate 10th and 4th house. That is how you can harvest this new moon energy. For the last rising sign, we will go to Pisces rising, the most accurate, followed by Pisces sun and Pisces moon. For my dear Pisces rising friends, in order for you to reap the reward of this new moon in Scorpio, you need to find harmonies between the new moon house, which is the 9th house, and the 3rd house, the Uranus house. This new moon for Pisces rising will happen in Scorpio in your 9th house. Mercury is also currently retrograding here. And the polarity or the opposition will come from Taurus, Uranus in Taurus in your 3rd house, communication. For example, if you want to harvest this new moon, for example, you have a project in terms of your travel, 9th house, right? This is foreign travel, for example, right? You need to review regarding that, documents, stuff like that, the how long, right? The conditions of your the places that you want to go, accommodation, stuff like that. You need to review. Or maybe you want to go to places that you've been before. Mercury retrograde, 9th house. You want to go to places that you've been before. But at the same time, in order for you to gain something out of this new moon, you need to open your minds, open your heart for surprises, revolutions, or liberations, or breakthroughs that could come from your 3rd house. Regular communications. Maybe you want to travel to places that you've been in order for you to gain something in terms of your communication, 3rd house. Or you're going to places that you've been before, Mercury retrograde, 9th house, but during the travel, you open your mind, your heart to surprises. Maybe you will be surprised, and that surprise could maybe improve your communications, improve your skills, improve your knowledge, right? Maybe it could improve your relationship with your brother and sister, siblings, 3rd house. Things could happen. Remember, this is Uranus in the 3rd house. Uranus will give you surprises, breakthroughs, liberations that you never thought possible. From thousands, millions of different angles, right? It could happen anywhere, from everywhere. So just be open-minded. In order for you to harvest this new moon energy, be open-minded and harmonize these 2 houses, the 3rd house and the 9th house, where the new moon is happening for Pisces rising.